Okay, so yesterday we saw, we started just by outlining Rashi and Tosfot on the sugya. The way Rashi understands the machloket Beis Hillel Beis Shammai is, right, Beis Hillel, Beis Shammai says that tzitzis, wool on a linen beged is patur. Beis Hillel says chayav. How did Rashi understand that? So first move, he says that this is a machlokus on the level of daraisa, right? Meaning that Beis Hillel holds it is permitted to have wool on linen because he accepts the smuchen, right? Accepts the drasha from the juxtaposition of the right. So asay de chalosei, which is derived from the smuchen, from the juxtaposition, and Tosfot and Beis Shammai does not. Rabbeinu Tam didn't like that because he said even people who don't accept smuchen and kol derakula, they accept it in dvarim, and therefore this drasha should not be challenged, and therefore Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai both think that on a daraisa level you're allowed to have kilayim b'tzitzis, you're allowed to have wool on linen. It must be that the issue at hand is derabbanan, that everyone agrees that biblically it's fine. The question is, do we impose this rabbinic prohibition? So that was question one. The next question they had to answer is this language. Why does it say patur and chayav? Why doesn't it say asur and mutar, or chayav and asur, or something like that? So according to Rashi, this is according to the position in the Gemara that chovat manahu, right? Chovat taladhu. That we're talking here about a beged that may be sitting in your drawer, be sitting in your closet. So according to Beis Shammai, even if you have a clothing that's sitting in your closet that you're not going to wear, if it has four corners, you have to put tzitzis on it. Now obviously if you did it then, you would not violate the prohibition of kilayim. And therefore he can't say asur, because there are cases in which it's not asur, it's just patur. It's just, you don't have to do it, but there's no problem to do it. If you wanted to put wool on linen and leave it in your closet, it would be fine. And therefore he has to say patur. Rashi doesn't quite clarify whether Beis Hillel needs to hold chovat gavra or not, meaning that's not the issue here, right? For Beit Shammai it's patur, for Beit Hillel it's chayav, but once you say the kilayim is nidche, once you say it's permitted, so then that could be chovat gavra or chovat talit. It doesn't depend on that position per se. The Beit Yosef notes that you don't have to go in this direction, right? You could say that even if you hold chovat gavra, right, you could defend this as well. But we'll leave that for the moment. Let's just outline what we've seen so far. Rabbeinu Tam, Tosfot didn't like this because Tosfot said we don't paskin that way. We don't paskin chovat mana. Even though he notes there were in fact Gonim and Rishonim who did paskin chovat talit, but he doesn't want to hang this machloket on that machloket, especially since we may not paskin like it. Now that's not necessarily a problem because it's Rabbeinu Tam, because it's the Beis Shammai, but he doesn't like this. So that was what we saw with Rashi and Tosfot yesterday, we also made the point that from this machlokas in the Gemara, Tosfot assumes that this is a proof for Rashi in terms of when you don't have chelet, you put all white strings because of the kal ilan thing, because you're clearly replacing the kal ilan. So that's what we were up to yesterday. Let us continue in Rashi. Again, there's a lot of lumdas here, but there's also a lot of just nitty gritty you got to get through in terms of the reading of this sugya. So the Gemara then introduces these derabbanans, which is even if you could put chelet on the linen beged, you can't because. So the first one was ein bekiyan, was that we were worried that people were not expert in what? So Rashi says, if you look at Rashi, lidros muchen de kilayim betzitzit mutar, vatul mishrei kilayim b'chol makom. They don't realize that the only reason it's permitted to put kilayim on tzitzit is because of the special gzera katuv, they think. And therefore, if they allow kilayim on tzitzit, they might allow kilayim in general. So,
well, if you're looking at the strings, though, can you really tell if you're not such an expert, can you tell if a string is made of
Good. So
wool?
this is a big question in the poskim: is how much can people tell? Apparently, with wool and linen, you can tell because of the different textures. Whether you can tell the difference so much between, let's say, linen and silk, is not so clear. And that's one of the big questions the poskim deal with in terms of the parameters here. But let's assume for the moment that you can. Let's assume for the moment.
Well, 'cause if someone might look at it, not realize that it's linen, and then it doesn't matter if they're Nicaid or not, because because if they don't realize that it's Kilayim anyway, then what's
Correct.
the problem?
No, you're right. Okay. Now these rabbinic prohibitions, though, so who are they according to? Right? Meaning, if you think that according to Beit Shammai, it's biblically prohibited to put tchelet on, to put tzitzis on pishtan, so then what? So this must be within Beis Hillel. The Beis Hillel thinks midoraisa you can, midorabbanan you can't. If you think Beit Shammai thinks it's rabbinic, then this may be the explanation of Beit Shammai, that the reason he thinks, and that Beis Hillel thinks is mutter lechatchila. Right? It's not clear. So let's look at Rashi continues. So he says, but before we even get to that, he says, but I have a bigger problem. Before I figure out who this is according to, I got to figure out, but how could they do that? Meaning, because what's the simplest read of the Gemara? That, not that you can't wear linen clothing, but that you can wear linen clothing, but you don't have to wear tzitzis on it. Right? Now, how do you get to that? How do you do that? So first, Rashi has to answer that. He says, "Ikasha came in the midaraisa chaya vechimatzu rabbanan lakor davar minat Torah ulemiftre mitzit mishum gzeira." I don't understand. Whoever it is that thinks that the problem is rabbinic.
So we're free?
Yeah. Just go ahead.
I'll get someone else.
So
Please come through.
if you think it is
Bring to the back after.
Yosef, he doesn't need you right now. Okay, come on. So if you think that what this means is whoever this is according to, that you can't wear, that midoraisa you could wear tchelet on tzitzis, tchelet on wool on linen because of asid chalosa say, but midarabanan you don't. So the simplest read of the Gemara is that you are still wearing the linen beged, just it's four corner without tzitzis. How do you do that? So he says, well, he gets it from the Gemara in Yevamot, which the Gemara says that they have the power. Lakor davar min Torah, mifter mitzitzit mishum gzeira. Ha'ozim Yevam v'regisha rabashin dechol davar shamar l'cha beit din v'sheva al tasem mitzvah seishu b'torah v'ru tam d'reim ein zeoker davar min Torah me'il me'akar v'lo yoker lo b'yadayim. So here's his question. I read that too fast. He says, the Gemara says, are Chazal able to uproot a mitzvah in the Torah? Yes. But the Gemara says there's a distinction. There's two ways you can uproot the Torah. One is what's called sheiv v'al ta'aseh. The other is kum v'aseh. One is get up and violate the Torah. The other is don't do the Torah. So which one, according to the Gemara in Yevamot, are Chazal allowed to do? Which one are they not allowed to do?
They're allowed to do
Sheiv al ta'aseh, not kum v'aseh. So now he says, wait a second. So let's read it again. V'ikasha came midoraita chaya ve'chimat rabban lakar davar minat Torah miftre mitzit mishum gzeira. If you're biblically obligated to wear tzitzit in this, how are you allowed to wear it without tzitzit? Yes, Chazal are able to uproot the Torah. Ha'udvinim b'yevamot beregisha rabu mishaninon d'chol davar sham l'cha beitin sheiv al ta'aseh mitzvah ta'aseh shu shabatorah. Its own tam l'divrei means zeoker davar minat Torah. But he says Chazal are only allowed to do it with passively. So how could you do it here? Isn't this active? They're telling you to wear, that you can wear the beged. He says no. He says it's uprooted by itself because this is not akira biyadayim. Now what does that mean? Aren't you wearing it? Like what does that even mean? So here you get different positions, and there in general there is a machloket, which maybe we'll get back to, but here I just have to highlight some of the issues. What exactly is the mitzvah of wearing tzitzis? Right? It could be that there's only a prohibition to. So what is the mitzvah of tzitzis? To put on a beged that has four corners with tzitzit, or to be wearing it. What does Rashi sound like he's saying it? Wear it. Right? That if one is wearing a four-cornered garment, so then it should have four corners. In that case, could you conceptualize this as passive? Yes, because they said you're allowed to wear this, and you don't have to do the mitzvah of tzitzit. But if you thought the mitzvah was to put on a beged of four corners with tzitzit, so then they're telling you you're allowed to put on this four-cornered garment even though there's no tzitzit. So it sounds like he's saying that the mitzvah is only to wear once you're wearing it, but the act of putting it on is irrelevant halachically, and therefore this is conceptualized as passive, even though, are you violating it actively? Yes, you're putting on a four-cornered garment without tzitzit, but he's saying, nah, it sounds like it's about wearing, and therefore it's passive.
Doesn't the end of the pasuk say that you have to wear them?
No, for sure you have to wear them, but at what point does the mitzvah kick in? While you're wearing it, or once you are wearing it? When you're putting it on, or when you're wearing it? If it's when you put it on, so by Chazal saying you're allowed to put on a four-cornered beged without putting on tzitzit, that sounds like they're actively telling you you don't have to do the mitzvah. Right? But if you say, no, the mitzvah is to wear it, right, that when you are wearing a four-cornered garment, you have to have tzitzit, so maybe you conceptualize it this way. Now, of course, you could also distinguish and say, no, the difference between oker and not oker is aseh versus lo zaseh or something like that. Right, this is not really, right, it's really an aseh. It's that you have to wear it, and they're saying you don't have to wear it. So maybe that's always considered passive in that sense.
If Chazal's worried about this wool on linen, right, so they say wear a linen garment without tzitzis, why don't they just say don't wear a four-cornered linen garment?
Good, that's what they could have said.
Yeah, that doesn't violate the Torah, and it fixes this problem.
Correct. They could have done that.
Why not?
So that's the question, right? And that's what they're dealing with. So again, the different models here is one is to say maybe the mitzvah is only to be wearing it, and therefore it's passive, so they can do it, and maybe it was unreasonable because people didn't have so many materials. I don't know, right? They thought they couldn't do it.
You just take a four-cornered something.
But their clothes were four-cornered. I don't know, right? You'd have to come up with something. You're right. You could have just said it's better not to. Now, this is yet another sugya that you have to get into, and there are a lot of shitot within this. I'm just, we're not going to get through every issue. Okay. Now, according to the first day in Rashi, who is this according to? This whole question, all these Rabbanans are according to? Beis Hillel. Beis Hillel. But then in his second gear says, Lashon Acheret, Rilazar the Beishamai Palag Dam Risadin Patur Alma the Irami Tzidid Avi Kilayim Velomatel Temu Dika Aval Isura Leka. His second possibility is that this is it's not within Beis Hillel, but it's within Beis Shammai, meaning that Beis Shammai says that this is within Beis Shammai, that he's arguing in an interpretation of Beis Shammai. Right? Meaning possibility one is that this is within Beis Hillel. That Beis Hillel says it's mutar midaraisa, but it's also midarabanan. Possibility two is within Beis Shammai he's arguing and saying, you think the reason Beis Shammai says it's also midaraisa, I disagree. I think Beis Shammai thinks it's mutar midaraisa, but it's also mideh Rabbana. Because they'll end up having Kilayim Shelo B'makom Mitzvah. And if you look at Tosfos Amar Rabbi Lazar Ritzadok notes this two gersos. But Kundras Perish Shtei Lashonot. V'Lashon Sheni Sheperish Dikaya Beit Shammai Depatri V'Lo Ein Barak Tema Rarinami Kaya Beit Shammai Imken Lamasru Beit Shammai. Right? He notes possibility one is the way we explained Rashi yesterday. Possibility two is the way Tosfos wanted to understand it, which is, no, everyone agrees it's mutar midaraisa. The question is midarabanan. V'zeu k'perish Rabbeinu Tam shelamalo at the time of the Beit Shammai mishum gzerei. Aval k'perish hakonja shelamalo lo yitachen deneku Beit Shammai. But according to possibility one in Rashi, it's impossible because Rashi would say according to Beit Shammai, kilayim b'tzitzit is aser always midaraisa, and therefore the dirabanan would be according to Beis Hillel. Va'od perish Elazar Beis Hillel mahader b'chayvi v'lo b'nei Yerushalayim itmu olav v'amarebi imken lama asur the pshita k'Beis Shammai lo kaim alan v'lama matmiyan. And he said, what is the reason you would want to say this is written Beis Hillel, like Tosfot? Because the Gemara doesn't just say there's a takana d'Rabbanan. What did it say? That people were shocked that people were doing X, Y, and Z. But if this whole discussion is only within Beit Shammai, we don't pass like Beit Shammai. So who are these people who are shocked that you're acting like right? You're acting against Beit Shammai, right? It must be that the takana not to wear it is according to Beis Hillel, and that's why people look at it and say, "What are you doing?" And therefore, Tosfos says it has to be that this prohibition was a rabbinic overlay onto Beis Hillel, and that's why people are looking at it and saying, "Ma pitom, what is going on?" Okay. So that is the two basic interpretations of this sugya. Okay?
Two basic interpretations.
Yeah.
Completely.
What?
The two basic.
Meaning these are just the two contours of the Gemara. Right? We haven't even gone into a lot of the conceptual issues yet. Okay? We've just laid out the... So let's get into some more of the details. There are a lot of sub-questions. Okay. Tell me. When whoever it is who says it's pater, let's say Beit Shammai, okay, is it pater from tchelet or is it pater from tzitzit?
Tzitzit.
The simple reading is that it's tzitzit, but it would make more sense to say tchelet.
Good. So who says what?
Well, yeah, because tzitzit doesn't have to be wool.
Good. The simple is understanding. Rashi seems to hold that what is he pater from?
Tzitzit.
Tchelet.
From tchelet, because that's what's kilayim. Meaning he has lavan, he just doesn't wear kilayim. Right? But if you look at number 7, look at the Ramban in Milchamot. He says, "Sadmitzid Beit Shammai pochen, peish pochen afilu milavan." He thinks you don't even wear white. Now tell me, why would you say one? Why would you say the other? Why would you say that whoever it is, Beit Shammai holds you don't have to wear white, or would you say you have to wear blue? What does it hang on?
Tchelet.
Tchelet makiv et lavan, lavan makiv et tchelet. Exactly, and that's what the Ramban says. Ve'ein tzarich lomar shafilu isser yesh mushim tchelet v'mayim v'yitram d'leslu smuch l'mishra kilayim mitzitzis. The cave in the tchelet leka lavan nami leka v'afilu mandarim makan zed zeh yikom makom talit she'aser b'tchelet. Now, sorry. One possibility is that if you think that Beit Shammai would hold your pater from everything or only from tchelet, hangs on whether you paskin tchelet makiv et lavan, lavan makiv et tchelet. Possibility 2, the Ramban says, is no. That's possibility 1. That's the easy one to understand, right? That's the easy one to understand. The Ramban says no. Even if you hold tchelet ein makiv et lavan, Beit Shammai holds your pater from tzitzis entirely. Why? Before we read the Ramban, did you get to it? Did you get to Milchamos? I know, you were caught in Tosfos.
I started from Kesef Mishnah today.
That's fine. So if you look at Milchamos, it's a bit complicated, but he says, what's the logic? He says, maybe, even if you hold tchelet ein makiv et lavan.
If you can't do the full mitzvah,
Good.
tchelet,
Exactly. He says, maybe, even if you hold tchelet ein makiv et lavan, that means that on a beged in which I could put white and blue, if I don't put blue, I'm still yotzei with the white. But if you have something, which the way Rashi understands Beit Shammai in possibility 1, biblically it can't have tchelet, and then what does that tell you?
Can't really have tchelet.
This beged is mufka from a complete fulfillment of tzitzis, and maybe that teaches you that if it can't have a full fulfillment, even in potential, then it doesn't need tzitzis at all. And that's what Ramban understands it. He says, "Mikol makom talit she'aser b'tchelet," but this is not Rashi. Rashi thinks that Beit Shammai holds your only pater from tchelet. Either because he thinks this hangs on tchelet makiv et lavan, and we paskin ain't tchelet makiv et lavan, or if you would say don't put it on, it's because you paskin tchelet makiv et lavan. The Ramban says no. Even if you hold ain't tchelet makiv et lavan, once the Torah tells you this is a beged that doesn't need it, doesn't need the full mitzvah, so it's not even can't even fulfill the whole mitzvah in potential, then categorically it's removed. And every lo chiyav the Torah b'lavan.
If you go back to the Rambam, he says it's one mitzvah with just 2 parts.
And that would be correct. That would be the logic, right? To say it's one mitzvah, which yes, it has 2 parts, but if it's categorically removed from half of it, that's migaleh that this isn't the right type of beged, right? That's how you would say it, right? It's that since it's one mitzvah, even if it's in makev, but it's one mitzvah. So if categorically you can't fulfill it in its entirety, then that means it's categorically removed from tzitzis. That's essentially the Ramban. And that's what he says. When it says put tzitzit, it means beged haruyi l'tchelet kamar. It means a beged in which you could theoretically put tchelet. K'dichtiv natu al tzitzit hakanaf. P'til tchelet. Areish b'gadam shenemru kan stam in let's pishtim. So now, even within the machlokes, you have within Rashi and Ramban, you have even if Beit Shammai says it's also midaraisa, does that mean it's also midaraisa to put any tzitzit, or you don't have to? It's also to put chelet, and you don't have to put any, or you have to put lavan, you just don't put chelet. Rashi says no chelet. Ramban says nothing. V'im tishal l'kulei alma mishnah Torah darshin and smuchin gamrin and parakamad etc. And then he says, maybe you'll tell me, but how does Beit Shammai not hold it? This is Tosfos' question. Don't we hold? Or doesn't everyone hold with smuchin in Dvarim? He says, yeah, but maybe he don't agree with the drasha, etc. Okay, good. Now. Okay, let's look at the Rambam for a second. Read me the Rambam.
So what is it? Is it putting, or what's the halacha with putting wool strings on a linen beged or linen strings on a wool beged? Even though it's only lavan without chelet, with that din, it's that it has to be, it's that it's allowed regarding the Tzitzit, the Shabbos. Shatter had chelet semer who latilit the bishop, because the chelet has to be wool, and you still put that on the linen beged. And there's no reason that you shouldn't do that. And you're allowed to do the lavan that's not the same material. Whatever you find that you have in Asay and Elotah, if you can fulfill both, that's better. If you can't fulfill both, then the Asay is stuff that the Elotah said.
Good.
But here you're able to fulfill both.
Good. So what does he say? What does he say?
He says that.
Do we paskin that the Kilayim is poter?
Yes.
When?
When it's on a linen beged.
When it's on a linen beged. Good. But not if it's where?
Not if it's linen on a wool beged.
Why?
Because there you don't have to have.
Good. So the Rambam conceptualizes this as the Gemara says, as Asay do Chalosa say. And therefore he says, look, when is it mutter to put the Kilayim in the tzitzis? Only if
you have to.
If you have to. Very good. Right? Only if you have to. And therefore, if you have a linen beged, the only way you could ever put chelet, you could ever put tzitzis with chelet on the beged is right, but on wool you could do everything wool, so it's fine. But on Zayin he says, "Ksut shel pishtan imatabid chelet, eloza lavan bilvad shel chute pishtan, lo mipnei shatzid midchay b'mnei hashatneis." But what if it's linen? So then, do you put chelan on it?
No.
What does it? No. Midaraisa? No. Midaraisa is mutter. Right? This is like Rashi.
But did he just say if it's a linen beged, you do put it on, but not if it's a
No. You don't put chelet. You just put white, made out of linen.
That's the opposite of what he just said.
No. That was wool. Wool, you only put wool with chelet. Linen, you don't put chelet. Why? Is it midaraisa? No, it's midarabanan, right? Meaning the Rambam is very simple. Midaraisa, are you allowed to put chelet on linen? Yes, because the efshar. There's no other way of wearing tzitzis on linen.
Right.
But we don't midarabana because of, as the Gemara said, by wool, are you allowed to put linen? No, because it's efshar, right? And which of the gzera derabanan does he pick? The third one. Shema yitkasa b'balayla she'ein zman chiyuv tzitzit. So if you remember the end of the Gemara, right? Look back at the end of the Gemara. The Gemara to the final one is that is Reb Zera. That Reb Zera said, Amar gzera mishum ksut layla. The gzera is because you might wear it at night. Now,
Wear what? Linen at night?
you might wear kilayim and tzitzis at night when there's no mitzvah. And therefore, there's no mitzvah, so it would be kilayim, and therefore we don't let you even wear it during the day.
I'm going on the opinion that the mitzvah of tzitzis stops at the time and not...
Good. So you remember that when Ray Sklar did this with you, but I think we're going to have to do it again because you don't remember all the ins and outs, so at least spend one day on it to chazer it. But the Rambam's position, very quickly, is what does ksut laila mean? Literally, what you wear at night.
Yeah.
So within the Rambam, let's just make it simple. The Rambam thinks it means day and night, and therefore he says, why is it asur midrabanan to wear kilayim and tzitzis?
Because you might wear it...
Because you might wear it after Shkia. Right? You'll be wearing it, you'll be caught up, you'll be at work, Gevalt, the sun sets, and now it's asur. Because he holds that ksut laila means day night, not pajamas versus day clothes, but day and night. שאין הזמן חייב ציד ונמצא עובר לא תעשה בעת שאין שם מצווה לעשה שחובת הציד ביום ולא בלילה שנאמר ראיתם אותו בשעת ראייה וסומא חייב ציד אף על פי שנראה אחר ממנו. Okay, that's the Rambam's position. Now, let's talk about some problems in the Rambam's position. First, tell me, the Gemara on Lamed Tet Beis, did it say that you were allowed to put linen on a wool beged?
Yes.
Yes, it did. So, how does the Rambam paskin that you can't? Daniel, since you did the Kesef Mishnah?
I attempted to do the Kesef Mishnah. I can't say I completed it.
It's hard. I'm not pretending it's not. So what does the Kesef Mishnah say? He says first the technical answer.
Matot techelis, eino matolavan shel temer.
Milosh b'jum semer kamen defshar b'mino bim kain.
Techelis without lavan on wool, like wool on linen.
Right, and he says
Milosh pishtum temer and not linen on wool. Iman de'efshar be
b'mino, because you could put it of the same substance and it wouldn't be kilayim. Doesn't the Gemara in Lamed Tet say that it's mutter? So what does he say? Bim kain. Lo kaimel and kishmul. Yeah, that's very nice. It's a machloket. The Gemara on Lamed Tet Beis said you can put linen on wool, and the Gemara on Mem said, in the name of Reish Lakish, that why are you allowed to put wool on linen? Asay dochalosa say. And what's the rule of asay dochalosa say?
Only if you have to.
Only if you have to, and therefore, what is the Rambam? So the Kesef Mishnah is very simple. There's a machloket in the sugya. One position says that tzitzit is completely removed from the isser of kilayim, and therefore you can put linen on wool, you can put wool on linen. That's the shita, that's Rachba, that's Shmuel on Lamed Tet Beis. According to that, are you allowed to put linen on wool? Yes. You're allowed to put wool on linen? Yes. But the Gemara in Daf Mem says, why are you allowed to put chelet on linen? Aseh dochalot say. And if it's aseh dochalot aseh, so then that makes sense, putting wool chelet on linen, because that's the only way to become the mitzvah on linen. But if it's about aseh dochalot aseh, are you allowed to put linen on wool? No, because that's never necessary. And the Rambam, the Shitato, once he paskins that way, so he understands, why is there an Isra at night?
Because you may wear it.
Because he says, if the category is aseh dochalot aseh, the thing about it, the Rambam's conceptually very clear. He thinks that we paskin like the Gemara in Daf Mem Amud Aleph, that the reason you can wear tchelet on a linen beged is aseh dochalot aseh. And therefore he says, if it's about aseh dochalot aseh, two things are true. That lahalacha we paskin, you can't do it on a linen beged on a wool beged because it's never necessary. Right. And halacha 2 is, what's the nature of the gzera derabanan? Because we're worried about ksut laila. Because if the category in play is aseh dochalot aseh, then what do you need in order to permit wearing kilayim? An aseh. When is there an aseh? Only during the day, and at night there's no mitzvah, and therefore the Rambam says that is the Gemara. We reject Lamed Tet Beis, we accept Mem Amud Aleph, that the only reason you can wear kilayim on tzitzit is because of asido chalosa, so it only works on a linen beged where it's necessary, not on a wool beged where you could just have all wool and you'd be fine. And the reason that Chazal said that midarabanan you never put chelet on pishtan is because since it's about asido chalosa, you need the mitzvah to be active, and at night it's not active, and that's how the Rambam understands the sugya. Right, the Rambam, right? Pretty smooth. Right, that's how the Geshem Mishnah understands it.
What drives him to Paskin that's definitely low?
The Gemara Daf Mem. He just assumes.
What drives him to Paskin with Daf Mem as opposed to with Shmuel?
My guess is it's Basra, right? That in the continuation of the sugya comes later, right? And in general, you have all these things that when the Gemara is working out other halachot within a certain framework, that indicates that that's the accepted framework. That's my guess, right? Is that since the Gemara is trying to figure out within the framework of Reish Lakish, what is the nature of the Yisur Rabbanan, that shows you the Gemara is taking that as the assumption, right? And therefore, if I have to pick one of two, that's my guess, right? There could be other rules that are driving him to do it. Okay, so that's the first thing the Kesef Mishnah says, just in pshat. Right, and that's how we get to the Rambam's position. Now, we'll look more at the Kesef Mishnah in a moment, but I want to get you really bothered here for a second. If you paskin like, you know what? No. Should I do this now? Okay, look at Tosfos. Tosfos cave into Efshar. Tosfos disagrees. And Tosfos says, La'el de masikna de chute pishtan potrin b'shel tzemer hainu bahade tchelet de migu de tchelet patar b'shel pishtan lava nami patar be'afagav de Efshar b'mino. By the pshita le tvei the chute tzemer potrin b'shel pishtan hainu mishum do lava achi einam Kilayim. He says, no, it's actually, I don't know if the Rambam actually disagrees with this. Before I say that, he says, wait a second. Doesn't the Gemara before say you're allowed to put kilayim on tzitzis, and you're allowed to put linen on wool? He says yes, but only if what?
Only if it's necessary. No.
So he says, no, sorry. He says, doesn't the Gemara earlier say that you are allowed to put pishtan on wool? So the Kesef Mishnah says that the Rambam says yes. The Gemara earlier said you're allowed to put pishtan on wool, but
you don't hold it that way.
But we don't hold it that way. The Tosfos says it's not true. We do paskin that way, but here's how it goes: if you have tchelet, then you can put linen on wool. Because tchelet, he says, he has a different conceptualization. He says, you know what that sheet does holding, and we actually agree with it? It goes like this. This is very, right, lamdish. What does he say? If you are wearing wool, so if you're wearing tchelet, so since tchelet has the possibility of what? Of nullifying kilayim in pishtan, what does that tell you? That tzitzis sheyesh bo tchelet is categorically removed from the Isser of shatnez. So the Gemara on Lamed Tet is talking about when you have tchelet. When you have tchelet, so
you can wear.
Then you can even wear.
You can't sell kilayim altogether.
Correct. But when you don't have tchelet, so then
it doesn't.
It doesn't. Or when you don't have tchelet, it doesn't. And then there isn't this magic rule, so what do you have at best? Asido chalosa say. What's the rule of Asido chalosa say? Efshar. Only be'efshar, right? Be'efshar, if there's no other way to do it.
But why is it be'efshar if there's no tchelet?
So he says, look. So he says, the masikin the chude bishton potem mishal semer hainu ba'ad etchel the migu tchil potem mishal bishton lavinami potem avagav the efshar b'mina b'hai the pshita le tvei the chude tzemer potem mishal bishton hainu mishum de balava achike kilayim. Inami says alternatively midoraita sharyeh. You're right. He says that's possibility one. He said possibility two is how you deal with Amud Aleph and Amud Bet. Correct. Midoraisa is Kilayim in Tzitzit really about Asay Dochalosa say? No, it's a categorical exemption. Midirabanan, they treat it as if it's based on Asay Dochalosa say rather than a categorical exemption, and therefore they invoke the rule of
the
Efshar. And therefore Tozo says in second answer, the Rambam says, is it Doraisa?
No.
Yeah, it's Doraisa. Because he says it's a machloket asugyot. Is this a categorical exemption or asay dochalosa say? But Tozo says in the second answer, no. It is midaraisa is a categorical exemption, and midarabanan it's asay dochalosa say. And therefore midaraisa, you don't have to worry. Lavan and tchelet and lavan. Midarabanan, what do you need? Efshar. And therefore by pishtan, are you allowed to put on tchelet?
No.
Yes. But by a wool baguette, are you allowed to put on linen? No, because it's efshar. Inami midaraisa shari rabbanon de gozer came to efshar l'kaim shneim. Midaraisa shari the kilayim mama shutar eitzel tzitzit v'la mishum d'tchiyah v'hadu misket the poter hainu midaraisa. So Lameterim base tells you this is not asadochalosa midarabanan. It is inami maskan l'kaim achi. Alternatively, possibility three is there's a machlokas asugyas. Right? That this is the maskana and that's not. Which is the Rambam. But now you see another machloket. According to the Rambam, there is a machloket asugyot if tchelet and tzitzis is a categorical exemption or asay dochalosa say. Nafkamina, lahalacha, are you allowed to put wool on linen?
No.
Linen on wool. So Rambam says the machloket asugyot. Toso says in his last position it's a machloket asugyot, right? Or it's a havamina maskana. But for this purpose, the same. But his other position is no. Midaraisa kilayim b'tzitzis is a categorical exemption, and midarabanan asay dochalosa say, and therefore midarabanan you have to worry about esher. Midaraisa you wouldn't. Right, that's it. Now, the Rambam L'Shitato holds that what is the nature of the Isser D'Rabbanan? Because we're worried about Ksus Laila. Because he thinks that the real rule is Asay Dochalosa say. And if the real rule is Asay Dochalosa say, then at night, is it actually Kilayim?
Yes.
Yes. At night it's actually Kilayim.
So he thinks that applies to Darius also.
Right, because he says if the D'Oraisa category is Asay Dochalosa say, that the mitzvah is pushing aside the Avera, then what do you need? A mitzvah. And he thinks that the mitzvah is only at night, only during the day, so at night there's no mitzvah. Mimela, we don't want you to wear tchelet on your Lenin beged, because as soon as Shkia hits,
isn't it?
You'll violate the Isser.
But that would still be an Isser D'Rabbanan.
No!
Because D'Oraita, if you accept that, then D'Oraita it's still it's categorical.
No. That's Tosfos. The Rambam holds that Mid'oraisa we reject Lamed Tet Amud Beis and we accept Mem Amud Aleph.
Yeah.
Meaning Lamed Tet might have thought it's categorical.
Practically,
but 1 second. But halacha we hold Mid'oraisa is Asay Dochalosa say and therefore needs Efshar. And therefore at night are you violating Mid'oraisa according to the Rambam? Yes, but according to Tosfos, you might argue, and we'll see that this might play itself out, that according to Tosfos, even at night, if you hold this categorical, it might be right. It might be mutter midaraisa, exactly. Then maybe there's a prohibition midarabanan, but midaraisa would be mutter.
You say that both are asay dochalosa say, just deraisa. You don't need efshar and derabanan. You do.
You could formulate it that way if you wanted, right?
Would that be similar than saying it's categorically?
Well, he says it's hutra, but that's his. Okay, so that is this. Now, it's 12 o'clock. There's a few more minutes here, okay? So let's continue in the Kesef Mishnah, and then what we'll look. Okay. Yeah, let's read the Kesef Mishnah. Tomorrow, what I want you to do is read the Tosfos and Ksubos, number 6. I hope to only do one more day in Kilayim B'tzitzis. There really are millions, so you could do this forever. But 3 days, I think, will be enough on it. For at least for now, we can decide if you want to do more. But we're going to have to do Ksut Laila, because as you see, part of the sugya now depends on how do you understand Ksut Laila. The Rambam is l'shitato that he thinks is about day and night. But we'll have to see. There are 2 other positions. It's about clothing and, not surprisingly, you already did it, so I don't want to do it in one day, which is, possibly 3 is, it's both. It's both, right? Those are the 3 possibilities. Okay, but let's look at the Kesef Mishnah. Let's get the Rambam Shita done, and then tomorrow we'll look at Tosfos and Ksubos and try to understand Tosfos and Ksubos. So he says, so first of all, in Pshat, it just has to be that you have to understand the Rambam thinks it is a machloket hasugya. Then Lamateta with base thinks this is categorical, and Mem Amud Aleph thinks it's Asidol Chalosa, saying that's the Rambam. That's what he says. Kishmol damar chutei tzemer potem b'shal pishtam v'lo kipshi do the bay the pashin and lamidamar rachva chutei tzemer potem b'shal pishtam v'shal b'shal tzemer el kedevish lakish damar kol makom shata motza ase v'lo tazeh v'chulei v'sover dizmandi chatchela nami mayri ratzon min doraita ka'amar. He thinks this whole prohibition is biblical. Sha'afal pisha hetira kilayim b'tzitzit. Even though kilayim in tzitzit is mutar midoraisa, lo hetira lehecha the efshar b'nina acher. It's only if it's impossible in any other way. Dainu tchela v'pishtim di efshar l'kayim mitzvah tchelet eloi deshiyit kulav di kilayim aval lavan shabo. But the white, the Rambam also thinks that the white. Are you ever allowed to put white on white wool on linen? No. Does Rabbeinu Tam think you can? Yes, because Rambam thinks it's asidol chalosa. Saying Rabbeinu Tam thinks it's categorical. Cave into Efshar Lav Shil Bo Mimino Lo Dachi Lo Tasei Di Kilayim V'Ava Bishakvar Yesh Lo Bekilayim Betalit. Now Rabbeinu Tam says maybe even with an Asidol Chalosa say once you're putting actual tchelet on, it should be mutter to put white strings that are wool because you're already using Asidol Chalosa say. It's at least somewhat categorical. The Rambam clearly holds no. Even though you're putting kilayim in this talis, it's also shareitah but chelet ain't omrim kvar nitche kilayim betalit zu. You don't say that kilayim is already pushed aside in this baguette, but yeah, mutar latel gama lavan mikilayim, and you could already put white from kilayim to call my de'efshar lemeute b'isur ma'atinan. The more you can minimize the prohibition, you do.
But it's all one kesher though. So
correct.
In that kesher,
so that may be
kilayim. So
correct, and that would be Tosfot. Tosfot may say maybe it's not fully categorical. But once you have tchelet, the Asidol Chalosa say will push aside at least kilayim. That's Tosfot. But the Rambam says, this is straight Asidol Chalosa say. And therefore, you minimize as much as possible.
Also, if the tchelet string is not perfectly dyed, so there's a splotch, let's say, of the tchelet string that's still white, would that be according to the Rambam?
Maybe. I mean, if it's not tchelet, I guess. They have to figure out whether that's called tchelet. You have to re-dye it. I don't know. Aval kasha to imkain heachkadav imratza lasat lavan shel shar mina mitzemro pishtim oseh. The cheven dezvan digat tchelet ma'arim asa lavan shel shar mina mipishtim shemadavot tchelet nimtza shu kilayim b'makom she'efshar l'kayim shnehem. Sharei efshar lasat lo chutei lavan shel semer o mimino. The hashda kishita bo chutei tchelet lit beyesr kilayim. V'od machar sover shetalet shel sharmin in p'turim mitzitim in Torah heich matilos od lavan shelahem shel pishtan sherik shiatom em tchelet nimtzer shikilam shel makom mitzvah. He said, wait a second, but there's one inconsistency in the Rambam. What was the inconsistency in the Rambam?
Lamed says he could.
That the Rambam says that in the Rambam, is that the Rambam says that what? By non-wool or linen begadim, by let's say silk, which the Rambam thinks are only chayv mid'Rabbanan, you're allowed to put tzitzit of any strings. Doesn't that sound like you could put wool and linen mixed strings? How could you do that? According to the Rambam, a silk beged isn't even chayv mid'Oraisa. So he says, he said, that's not what the Rambam meant. Right? That can't be what the Rambam means. The Rambam can't mean put any string on silk, including when you have tchelet. Because obviously the Rambam thinks a silk beged is only chayv min derabanan. There's no way he thinks you can put kilayim on it. What must he mean? That if you're only putting white,
You can do whatever you want.
so do whatever you want. Because it's silk, so put linen, put wool, it's fine.
Even a mix of them?
No, one or the other.
Right.
Right? And he's saying it can't, because he said if it was with tchelet, then by saying you can put any string, he means you can put any white strings plus the wool of the tchelet. He said it can't mean that the Rambam that doesn't fit consistently. Right? That doesn't fit is. You finish your paperwork?
No, website makes no sense.
Okay. Try not to do this during morning seder. I know it's stressful. I got it. Anyway, v'hachi d'gamar ksut shel tzemer osir shelavan shelash shel pishtan shel menim osir mena odin pishtan v'achar katav b'hatal chutei tzemer b'ksut shel pishtan chutei pishtan b'ksut shel tzemer makom lekat chelet osir devi kilayim shel makom mitzvah kevan sheyachal l'kayim shneihem kshiyato bo mimino val talat shel pishtan zidel bo tchelet muter lasot lavan shelah shel tzemer kevan alav chutei lavan nami einan m'kayim shneihem shereish mino אבל טלת של פישן לא תחילת מותר לעשות לבן שלוש של צמר, כיוון דלאו חוטי לבן, etc. But then he says that maybe, one second, if you put on, then he goes back and says maybe like Rabbeinu Tam, that if you have a linen beged that you're already putting wool on, you could put them all wool. Because once you're already putting wool, so he thinks maybe that is mutter. Right? Maybe that is mutter. Okay.
Is there like a specific mitzvah that they all have to be the same? Or?
No.
So then, why do you say it's mutter to put the techeles part of it is wool?
Correct. So,
The rest of it
you
can't
could
be?
have, right? You could have, but he thinks that you don't have to, because then Asido Chalosa is already being invoked. In that case, you would do it. But now he asks another question, which is, I don't understand. Why is it ever mutter just only wear wool clothes? And what's the answer to that? That's not called efshar. Efshar doesn't mean that I could not wear this clothing. It means I could do this act without violating an issur, but you can't do that. That's Tosfos' answer in Ksubos, as we'll see. He gives a second answer, which is, no, the fact that we have the drasha has to teach you something. And the fact, what does the drasha teach you? That you're allowed to wear linen begadim and put tzitzits on them. But at the end, he quoted Rabbeinu Tam as saying that you could put the wool and linen, but what is his own shita at the end? That if you have a linen beged, are you allowed to put 4 wool strings? No. At the end, he says you have to put 2 wool, or for the Rambam, 1 wool and 7 linen. Why? Because he thinks, again, he thinks consistently.
How did that work exactly?
Oh, I don't know, or 6. Maybe you can't do it with the 1 string. I don't know. But what does he think? One second.
Yeah.
So what does he think? According to the Rambam, Kesemish, according to the Rambam, what does he think consistently? The Rambam holds this is Asid Ochalos say. So what should emerge from that for him? That on a wool beged, can you ever put linen strings, l'maskana? No. On a linen beged, are you allowed to put wool strings? Only tchelet. What about the other strings, according to Kesem Mishnah? No. At night, why can't you wear it? Because you need the active mitzvah. He thinks that night is not allowed mitzvah, and that's why he thinks that the Rabbanan is avoiding that, because the only heter is atei holosasei. Tosfot, though, holds some variation of expanded asei dochalosasei / categorical heterim. Hence, does Rabbeinu Tam hold that once you're putting on chelet, all of them can be wool and a linen beged? Yes, that doesn't have to be a categorical exemption. That could just be an expanded asidel chalosa. Say once it's pushing it aside, it pushes it aside entirely, right? But more than that, does he paskin like the Gemara mid oraisa and lamed tes that you're allowed to put linen strings on wool beged?
No.
Yes, Rabbeinu Tam, oraisa. In his middle answer, not his last answer. Middle answer of Rabbeinu Tam, because in the middle answer of Rabbeinu Tam, what does he think? Is it a categorical exception? Asidel chalosa say?
It's categorical.
It's categorical, and therefore he thinks that midarabanan we treat as asidel chalosa say, so you need efshar. But midoraisa, it's categorical, and that's why you can have linen on wool. The Rambam just thinks it's a machlok and a sugyot, and doesn't paskin like the categorical one. Right? So that's how the Kesem Mishnah understands the machlokas between Tosfot and the Rambam. What I want to do tomorrow is 2 more things.
Which one is the easier understanding? Meaning, like, To say,
I don't know.
to say
Which is
category,
easier? I don't know.
Yeah, like a
I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Let me just highlight what I want to do tomorrow. 2 more questions, okay? The Rambam L'Shitato thinks that at night you can't wear tzitzis. Is there any way of saying that even if you held it was lavzman tzitzis, you would be allowed mitaoraisa to wear kilayim?
If you hold it goes with a beg and you're wearing your morning beg at
Good. So that's what we're going to have to see because in the Tosfos and Ksubas actually goes in this direction. And what I want you to do is compare it to the 3 Rambams in number 10, or the 2 Rambams in number 10, where you see a similar type of machlokes by Kilayim in the Big Day Kahuna.
Yeah, he was saying what things that you might not consider beged, right? That's what he was saying.
You look there, right? You'll see that by Big Day Kahuna we have a similar machloket. And again, part of this is going to hang on the question of
the Ravid was contradicting the Rambam, right?
He's not contradicting. He's arguing with the Rambam.
Yeah.
Arguing. He can't contradict. I mean, yes, he's arguing with the Rambam.
Okay.
Compare it to that. Remember in the back of your mind that in order to understand this, you have to know the difference shitos of ksut yom and ksut laila, which maybe we'll do next. Right? We'll quickly do a chazara because I know you did that. So I'm going to do it in one day, okay? I don't want to relearn the whole sugi. You did it with Rice Klar. Why would I spend days on it after you did it with him? So I'll at least spend one day. The last thing I want you to think about is the following. What if you have a wool beged, but you don't have any strings but linen? Is that called efshar or not? Right? Meaning the only strings you have are linen. Is that called efshar? Are you allowed to put... if it's about efshar, does efshar mean theoretically efshar or before efshar, right? What does that mean? Is this a categorical definition of efshar or not? Think about that.
I think it has to be.
Do those again. I'm not saying these are all the sugiyot in it. It really isn't. This is only the tip of the iceberg in the sugiyot of Kilayim B'tzitzis, but at least you'll get the main positions out. So I want you to read that Tosfos carefully in Ksubos. Read the Rambams carefully. If you get to the Rebbe Kiva and Kovach Shiurim, great. If not, what? Okay, good. But by tomorrow, I want to finish this sugya. At least, I don't think it is healthy for us to spend like 3 weeks on Kilayim B'tzitzis. I think 3 days is sufficient. Next, we'll do Ksut Laila in one day, Chazara and Ksut Laila, right? The 3 Shittot Rishonim, and then we'll move on from there. Okay? So so tomorrow we'll finish Kilayim B'tzitzis. Sunday we'll do
the Kovach Shiurim. That was just bringing like a separate point.
We'll get to it. Okay?
It doesn't necessarily. It's not. It's like a separate thing.
I think I put one more question. If you get to those, do it. If not, those are the first questions I want you to think about. Okay, and then we'll do Ksut Laila on Sunday, and then move from there. Okay?